Convicted murderer Brendan Banfield will spend the rest of his life in prison with no chance of ever getting out. His sentencing today came months after a jury found him guilty in the 2023 murders of his wife and a stranger named Joseph Ryan.
Prosecutors said Banfield conspired with the family's au pair and that he was having an affair with her. She pleaded guilty to manslaughter and testified against Banfield in his double murder trial.
Northern Virginia Bureau reporter Drew Wilder has followed this story for years. He was in the courtroom today when the judge sentenced Banfield. Drew, we know the victim's family members gave incredibly emotional testimony, and Banfield himself spoke. What did he say?
Yeah, look, it was pretty unsurprising, but it still sucked the air right out of the courtroom when Brendan Banfield stood up in front of the victim's family and friends and remained defiant, claiming the criminal justice system wronged him, saying that he's innocent.
In his last gasp before being sentenced to life in prison, Brendan Banfield used his opportunity to again talk about himself rather than express sympathy for the families of the victims he's convicted of murdering.
I'm greatly disappointed in the legal system.
Chief Judge Penny Karate wore her emotions all over her face as she watched Banfield spend nearly 12 minutes claiming he was innocent and explaining how he believes the jury got it all wrong. Judge Karate was both heartfelt and merciless in her sentencing, driving home that his young daughter will someday learn of this horror.
She is young now, but one day she will understand your true self, and she will understand what you took from her, which is everything.
And while it was his sentencing hearing, today was a day for the families of Christine Banfield and Joe Ryan, who for the first time spoke publicly about their loss.
Christine dedicated herself to her daughter, who will grieve her loss at every milestone in her life. I will be there, never to replace my sister, but to tell Valerie who her mother was, remind her of her big laugh and even bigger heart. I will tell Valerie how much she was loved by her mother, and I will forever carry both the grief of losing her too soon and the gratitude of having loved her for 37 years and being loved by her in return.
Joe Ryan's mother, Deirdre Fisher, spoke via video, saying she couldn't be here due to health complications.
I was the last person he called the night before he was brutally murdered. He sent me a photo of himself that night. It was the last time I got to hear the word mom.
For years, two families lived in the agony of loss while dodging the lies Banfield told the world, a nearly unfathomable scheme that a jury did not believe.
Today we speak, and today we find our voices, and today our silence ends. Today we take back Joe and Christine's memory from the lies, from the manipulation, and from the man who thought he could control their story even after taking their lives.
Brendan Banfield has been sentenced to live the rest of his life in a penitentiary, while his daughter grows up without either parent by her side.
After he was sentenced to life in prison, Brendan Banfield was appointed a new attorney who will represent him at his appeal. He has 30 days to file for an appeal. Everyone expects that he will. I talked with his new attorney, and he tells me it'll probably be 3, maybe 4 months before anything really starts to get going with that case, you guys.
Drew, you've covered this case from the beginning, not just the trial, but all the way back to the day of the murders. It was so shocking for this community. What sticks out to you as you reflect back on these last 3 years?
It's two things, I guess. First of all, the scheme. I mean, having an affair and then going on to this fetish website to create a fake profile for the wife to literally harvest a victim that you were going to lure over to the home. You know you're going to murder this person alongside. Every detail of that scheme is so difficult to believe and wrap your head around. Even after I've been talking about this for 3 years, it still just boggles my mind. And the other thing, of course, is the young Banfield daughter. I mean, that just rips your heart out. To think that she was brought into the home by the au pair and Brendan the day of the murders, and she was in the basement while a double murder was being carried out 2 floors up, and one of the victims was her mother. That in and of itself. And then you think about the road ahead for this young girl. She's going to grow up without her mother. Her father's serving life in a penitentiary, and she's currently right now in the middle of a custody battle, which is got to be difficult on everybody in and of itself. You just got to say a prayer for that young girl and hope that she is surrounded by the love that she deserves.
You do indeed. All right, Drew Wilder, from the very beginning, he's been all over this tragedy. Drew, thanks so much.